Today's broadcast is produced entirely by the students at Southeast High School in partnership with Kaiser University.
Good evening. We are live from Southeast High School in Bradenton, Florida. SETV, Southeast High School Sports, presents Southeast Seminole Baseball. We're glad to have you with us as the Seminoles take on the St. Stephen's Falcons in this non-conference game. The Noles are 9-11 overall, while the Falcons come into tonight's game being 13-2. My name is Joe Collis, and I will be calling all the action in tonight's game. And joining me this evening in just a little bit is my good friend and buddy, Coach Ryan Clark, with the color commentary. Well, let's run through the lineups here. First, for the visiting team, the St. Stephen's Falcons. Leading off for the Falcons is number 3, catcher Ben Tobio. Batting second is number 9, pitcher Devin Guzman. Batting third is number 11, shortstop Mike Madigan. Batting fourth, number 23, right fielder Peter Ballos. Batting fifth is number 7, third baseman Wyatt Seven. Batting sixth is number 24, first baseman Max Rundy. Batting seventh is number 22, center fielder Ben Schnurr. Batting eighth is number 8, second baseman Brock Saletti. And batting ninth is number 15, left fielder Calvin Sauerbeck. On the mound tonight for the Southeast Seminoles, we have Kobe Garcia, and his battery mate is going to be Sam Hardy. We'll go ahead and run through the lineup for the Southeast Seminoles next. When they come up in the bottom half of the first, leading off for the Seminoles will be number 5, second baseman Caden Steffen. Batting second is number 3, shortstop Fred Dariano. Batting third is number 2, third baseman Kyle Metters. Batting fourth is number 6, left fielder Donald White. Batting fifth is number 10, right fielder Robert McConico. Batting sixth is going to be number 19, designated hitter Kyle Wright for the pitcher, Kobe Garcia. Batting seventh is number 17, catcher Sam Hardy. Batting eighth will be number 14, center fielder Devin Stewart. And batting ninth will be number 13, first baseman Griffin Schwartz. So here we go to start off the top of this first inning. And we have Tobio coming to bat. Beautiful day here in Bradenton, Florida. Perfect day for baseball. And we've got strike one right there, so that's a good way to start by Kobe. Again, my partner will be joining me in just a minute. Had to run to the office and grab us a couple of things. And we've got a hot shot to second baseman Stephen, who gobbles that thing up. Nice strong throw to first for the easy 4-3 putout. So it's a great way to start for Kobe Garcia. That's going to bring up number 9, the pitcher, Devin Guzman. Guzman is a sophomore, very versatile player. Has started every game for the Falcons since he was in the 9th grade. And he fouls that one down the third baseline just a little bit early. After talking with Coach Sauerbeck a little bit before the game, that Guzman has done a nice job of learning situational hitting, doing a good job, as he's way out in front of that one too. So we're ahead in the count, 0-2. Great job by Kobe Garcia to start off this game. Looks to be pounding the zone early, getting a lot of swings out the Falcons, who are not afraid to swing the bat, obviously. Guzman, when he goes out in the bottom half, will be making his first start on the mound. And we've got a swinging strike 3 and the put out down there by Hardy, so that was a nice job. So a quick 1-2 there for Garcia. We'll see if he can't lock it down and have us a 1-2-3. That would be a really great way for the Seminoles to start this wonderful day. That's going to bring up number 11, the shortstop, Mike Madigan. According to his coach, he's one of the best pure hitters he's seen at a high school level. And apparently just a dirt baller of a type of player. And that's what you would expect out of your 3-hole guy, is a guy who can swing it a little bit, got a little juice in his bat. Seems to have a nice relaxed approach up there. And we've got a nice another swing. Third baseman Metters, little fumble, and throws it just wide. So we got an error on Metters. Again, Kobe doing a great job right there of pounding the zone and getting yet another ground ball. So the defense has definitely got to take care of business. So that's going to bring up the cleanup hitter, number 23 right fielder, Peter Balos. Peter's a freshman, but after looking at that big frame, he does not look like a freshman. Pretty clutch hitter for the Falcons so far this year. And we've got a throwaway all the way down into the right field corner, and that's going to let Guzman get all the way over to third base. So after a quick 2 outs and a great job by Kobe Garcia getting 3, ground ball after, ground ball, strikeout, then another ground ball, and then unfortunately the error, we've got a runner on third with 2 outs. And my partner, Ryan Clark, has made it back up into the booth. Hey, buddy, welcome to the game and welcome back. Thanks for running that quick errand for us there.
Yeah, thank you, Coach. Glad to be here. Hello to the Seminole Nation. Any St. Stephen's fans out there listening to our game tonight. Beautiful night for baseball.
And we got us another foul ball right there. So what I like early, Coach, and I know you missed the first 2 batters, which is totally okay. But I'll tell you, Kobe seems to be pounding the zone early tonight, which is something that I think he struggled with a little bit when we watched him last time pitch against Lakewood.
Yeah, I mean, as a pitching coach, you always want your pitchers there in the strike zone.
Well, and it looks like we're going to need to be on our toes again tonight, as we had another ball almost come into the press box.
Yeah, I believe the last game we played, there was one close to your face now, and then this game we had one close to our student scorekeeper. Looks like we got ourselves a ground ball to get out of the inning, Coach. That was big. Hope they'll trip up at first. Everybody seems to be okay. Seminoles will get to go the bottom half of the inning.
So that's a great start for the Seminoles. After the top half of 1, we've got a 0-0 score, and we're going to stay right here with you. Catch up on some stuff. So again, we've already went through the lineup for Southeast. Seems to be a pretty standard lineup for Coach A, what he normally uses. Again, those Seminoles are coached by Coach Andrew Jeske and Coach Mashad and Coach Cromwell, doing a great job coaching these nice young Southeast Seminoles. And on the bump tonight for St. Stephen's is going to be sophomore Devin Guzman, who is making his first start on the mound tonight. So maybe that'll parlay into something good for us. Maybe seeing a guy who hasn't been out there quite a bit, lacks a little bit of experience. Maybe we can jump on him early and get this thing going in the right direction for the Noles tonight.
Yeah, Coach, maybe, but, even though Mr. Guzman doesn't have that much experience on the mound, he has started in every game since his freshman year. So this is a sophomore with plenty of varsity game experience, not on the bump. However, he has been a varsity player for 2 years now. So he's bringing a little varsity experience with him.
Yeah, absolutely. And, according, the St. Stephen's comes into this game at 13-2. Pretty outstanding season so far. And after talking with their coach before the game, only have 1 senior. So very young. So to be 13-2, and you've got to be excited about the future.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're going to have a decent team here for the next couple of years. But have you seen this coaching staff, Coach, over there at St. Stephen's? I mean, you got Coach Sauerbeck, you got Mike Verrill, who I had the pleasure of coaching with over at Braden River High School. Throw in old Scotty Air, and you got quite the varsity coaching staff there. This is going to be a tough team to handle. They're going to play sound ball.
Well, there's no doubt that the coaching staff definitely has the experience, but as well as I do, you can have all the experience you want as a coach. You still got to get the kids to play it on the field. But there's no doubt that there's definitely some experience down in that coaching staff and some quality guys that are coaching these young men.
Yeah, absolutely.
So here we leading off is second baseman Caden Steffen takes strike one. Now ball one to even it up 1-1. Caden having a very solid year. Fine young man, very versatile infielder, second-year starter. Has a lot of good player awareness. He lifts the ball out here to right field, and that's a can of corn for the right fielder.
Yeah, got under that a little bit, dropped that back shoulder, and, right to the right fielder.
That's going to bring up number 3, our shortstop, Fred Dariano. Fred is just a freshman, played in every game. Normally our shortstop, pitches a little bit for us. And I've had the pleasure to be out and watch a couple of practices and being able to watch him play some games. And, for a young guy to have the approach that he has at the plate is very good. I really love his approach. He's always looking to go away, backside, and he does it very well. And you don't see that very often from a kid his age. It's normally something that they develop, and he's obviously done a good job of already having that developed. And I look forward to watching him in the future, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's nothing more exciting for a varsity coach than to have your freshmen or sophomores stepping up and, being able to have some varsity experience. Got another fly ball. This one looks like it's going to the second baseman.
Yeah, so 2 early pop-ups there weekly, which brings up our 3-hole hitter, the third baseman, number 2, Kyle Metters. Kyle is a senior on the team, was voted to captain, was the 2016 most improved player, can play all three infield positions other than first base, can play a little center field too. Got good wheels and a pretty good swing right here too. He's got a little juice, a little line drive, gap-to-gap guy.
Yeah, Kyle, another good student. I know he's a part of Mr. Buckley's ag program. Takes a nice cut to go with that pitch, but fly ball right field, and that's going to end the inning for the Seminoles.
So after they go 3 up, 3 down in the bottom half of that inning, so it's the end of 1 with the score 0-0, and we will be back with more baseball after this public service announcement. And we're live back here at Southeast High School for some Seminole baseball in the top of the second inning. Score 0-0. And after a very nicely done job by Kobe Garcia in the first with very minimal pitches, a lot of ground balls. Let's hope Kobe can continue to do that here in the second inning and then on through the rest of this game.
Yeah, you know what, Coach, as you pointed out, he's pounding that strike zone. You got to let your defense play behind you. The defense got to play behind you and make some plays, and then hopefully the sticks can come around and offer some run support. This Seminole pitching staff overall is rolling with a 3.2 something ERA. So that tells me with their record, they're just not quite getting the defense and the run support that they should be getting. So, some of these pitchers on this staff, are really trying to do their job up there. So we need to get a little help from that defense and some offense.
Yeah, good point, Coach. Defense needs to clean it up a little bit. And that is a shot to the center field and looks to be over Stewart's head. That's number 7, third baseman Wyatt 7. And that's going to be a stand-up double to lead off the top of 2. So definitely not what we were looking for there.
No, that's Wyatt's first triple of the season. Double, excuse me. That's his second double of the season.
And that's going to bring up number 24, first baseman Max Rundy. Left-handed stick. Going with the pants-up look tonight. So let's see if Kobe can work out of this early runner in scoring position early. I'd like to see some more ground balls. That seemed to be working well in the first inning. And if we can get some ground balls and handle the baseball defensively, I think we're going to be okay, Coach.
Able to get a ground ball there, Coach. Asking you shall receive.
There you go. Great job by Caden right there, charging, coming to get that ball. Didn't sit back and wait on it. Tacked that ball. Nice, easy play to first.
Got it on the right bounce. Made a nice play over to first base.
Absolutely. Brings up number 22, center fielder Ben Schnurr. Schnurr is a junior on this squad. A little bit of a late start for Schnurr, also on the basketball team, so there's that overlap a little bit. And he takes strike one. That's going to be a ground ball to Fred. He comes over to third for the out, so they score a run right there. And that's going to be the first run of the inning, but great job with Fred. Got 2 outs right now. That was a nice job of hitting by Ben Schnurr right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Did his job. His job was to get that run across the plate, so we have 2 down now, nobody on. Number 8 up to bat.
Second baseman Brock Saletti. Another lefty. And we've got a weak ground ball to first, and Schwartz is going to take it himself.
Seminole's able to get out of that inning with 1 run damage.
So after the top of 2, the Falcons get on the scoreboard 1-0. So that's going to now that the ice has been broken, and Knowles, you had to score 1 to win anyway. So let's hope that the 4, 5, 6 in the lineup can get something started for the Seminoles and maybe kickstart this offense and maybe get it going a little bit. It seems like after talking to Coach A a little bit, bats have been struggling a little bit this week, so hopefully they can get things going here at home on this beautiful day for baseball.
Yeah, absolutely. No time like now to get them started.
Our umpires for tonight's game, behind the dish is Bob Eisen. First base is David Klein, and our third base is Danny Wilson. I'd like to take a moment right now to welcome all of our fans out there listening, watching from probably all over. We understand that some of the kids' families are watching all the way out in Iowa, Coach. So that is just awesome for these kids to be able to be on live TV, their families be thousands of miles away, and to be able to watch them, and that's pretty neat. And I'll tell you, it wouldn't happen without the direction of Miss Amanda Clark and this awesome SCTV
Absolutely. Stuff. Running the best TV production program in the world. On top of that, just a great bunch of kids that she has. Great bunch of kids she has. Fly out to the pitcher. But yeah, Coach, they actually coach us through some of the technical difficulties. They coach us through the process. I know how impressed you and I were during basketball season watching that team set up and do their thing. Top-notch program out of Miss Clark.
No doubt about it. Hands down, the best in the country. I'd like to see another high school go up against Stars as far as this goes. So as we saw there, we were sitting there chattering a little bit, just giving our props to the people that we get to work with and who let us get up here and have fun and have a blast doing this, because we just love it. And but that was a quick out by Donald White, swung at the first pitch, popped up to the pitcher, and that brings up Robert McConico, number 10, our right fielder, to go down 0-2. Robert, very good-looking athlete, great baseball body, has come a long, long way in playing this game. And I'll tell you what, if he can continue to make strides and go in the right direction, and he can continue to try to figure out this hitting part, he could be pretty good. Although the pitcher right there, Guzman, made him look a little silly with that deucer.
Yeah, that was a tough breaking ball for Robert. He likes to sit fastball, and when he gets a hold of one, he actually has the power to drive it out left center field.
Yeah, and that's going to bring up number 19, the DH, Kyle Wright. He is designated hitting for our pitcher, Kobe Garcia. And Coach, you just brought up a great point. He likes to sit on fastball. That's what we all should be sitting.
Yeah, that's
on.
where you want to be.
Just stalk a fastball. If somebody's want to throw me a breaking ball, until I've got 2 strikes, I'm going to spit on them. I'm going to take those, and some people say, well, you should guess. Well, you know what? When you get those people are called big leaguers.
Yeah.
And they're making millions. You know, when you make it to the big leagues and you're making millions of dollars, well, and you want to guess and it works out for you, well, you go ahead and guess. But at this level of baseball, we've got to sit on a fastball and adjust anything else. And that's majority of what hitting coaches and good college coaches, high school coaches, and pro coaches are teaching their guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a numbers game, and you want to give yourself the best chance to be successful. And it's tough to be successful when you're swinging at first pitch curveballs. You know, I know that you had a legendary coach you up on that one.
Yeah, we talk about him every time we're on the air. Coach Tim Hill Sr.
Yeah, you got to.
You got to. Just a Hall of Fame guy and learned a lot. And you're going to swing at first pitch breaking ball, you will be an 076 hitter.
That's the number I remember you telling me, Coach.
So we're at 2-2 count. Deuces wild on the board for Kyle. And he fights off that breaking ball right there. So that's a nice job by Kyle.
Yeah,
hanging
kept his weight back. It was a nice swing on that.
He's hanging in there. Kyle, just a freshman, the ability to drive the ball both ways. So coach likes his upside. And unfortunately, Kyle gets beat by that fastball right there. So that's going to be the end of the second inning with the score 1-0, Bad Guys. And we'll be back with more Seminole baseball after this public service announcement. And we're live back here at Southeast High School for some more Southeast High Seminole baseball. With the going into the top of the third with the score 1-0, Falcons on top of the Seminoles. And coming up is the 9-hole hitter, number 15 left fielder, Calvin Sauerbeck.
Yeah, Calvin has started a whole mess of games for Coach Sauerbeck here in center field and can play first base. Probably one of St. Stephen's better athletes. I know they're full of them.
Yeah, well, it's got to be in the genes, Coach, because his dad was a pretty good ball player himself, making it to the top level that you can make it. You know, him being an MLBer himself. So,
yep.
You know, and you got to think about that too. Here's this young man has been around and a bunch of major leaguers growing up. It's just different.
You're going to learn some things.
You're going to pick up some things
Yep.
that other kids don't get the opportunity to do, which that's pretty cool.
Yep.
And obviously it's parlayed over into this. So left-handed batter, and let's hope that Kobe Garcia can let's have a 1-2-3 inning and a shutdown inning and throw up a goose egg like we did in the first.
Yeah, I think Kobe really can build some confidence with another shutdown inning. So let's see what he can do here. A little bit wild in the dirt right there, but I fully expect him to get back on track.
Yeah, Kobe is definitely no stranger to the bump. Starts a lot of games for Coach A in these Knolls, and comes right back and pounds the zone inside right there. Fastball in. Yeah, Kobe does a good job. Still developing a changeup with the help of Coach A. You know, it's got a good curveball, good feel for the curveball. And we got a ground ball to Fred over there, and we've got us a 6-3 put out. So very nice job by Kobe and a great job by Freddie over there at shortstop.
Yeah, it really helps getting the leadoff hitter of an inning taken care of. You know, you hate putting them on base and working with a runner on base right off the bat. So that was a good job.
Especially a guy, you know, who's an outfielder, you know, and you know he runs well if he's in the outfield a little bit. And Coach said he's one of their best base runners. So, you know, it kind of sounds like one of those 9-1 punches that Coach is trying to work in there. Two guys back-to-back speed, because that brings up number 3, the catcher, Ben Tobio. You know, and just because he's a catcher doesn't mean that he can't run a little bit. He's obviously a very good athlete, a junior on the team, and has been playing there since 8th grade. And then we've got us a hard-hit ground ball to the shortstop, and Fred couldn't handle it, so we're going to have us an E6 on Freddie right there. You know, and some of you out there who are listening or watching, if you heard me just say that Tobio has been with them since the 8th grade, and you're saying, well, this is a high school baseball game. That is because St. Stephen's is a combination school, meaning that they have all their kids from K through whatever, or 6 through 12 on their campus. And when they are like that, they can and they do use the ability to play 7th and 8th graders. And that's a ground ball to the pitcher, who throws it out into right field, and we've got a runner going to come all the way around the score.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Another unearned run, on the Seminole defense. That's always tough to swallow. I wanted to say real quick, with Mr. Tobio leading the team with a 561 average, we've already moved on to the next hitter, though, Mr. Guzman. So he's on with a sac bunt with a throwing error over there on the first base. Brings the runner home. So we now have one out. Mr. Guzman on first base. Gets a quick chat from Coach Sauerbeck.
Well, a quick chat right there going out because, he's also their starting pitcher, so he's going to make sure that he's good to go. Obviously doesn't want to use the courtesy runner because he runs well, so no break for him, saying, hey, kid, tough it up.
I'm sure no sliding into second base hand first, though, either.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's going to bring up number 11, the shortstop, Mike Madigan.
Easy steal.
And there's that head first slide you said he wouldn't do.
Yeah, he had that base stolen pretty easily. Even with a perfect throw, he's in there.
So you got a runner in scoring position, and Madigan up the bat with a 517 batting average, so not getting any easier for the Knowles and Garcia here.
No, this Falcon lineup has 2 batters over 500, has a batter over 400, and then
4 more batters over 300. So this lineup just keeps coming at you.
Yeah, definitely no let up in this lineup, and obviously doing a nice job with the sticks this year. And that's another ground ball that Caden Steffen cannot handle up the middle. And that's going to score another run. So
another unearned run, Coach. And we mentioned earlier in the game, this is a tough one because the Seminole pitchers as a staff and as individuals have decent ERAs. I mean, they're right there where you want them to be, but the win-loss column isn't quite there, and that tells you that your defense and your offense isn't helping the cause.
No doubt about it. And that's going to bring out a quick chat by Coach A. Bringing everybody in, probably telling them just to settle down. Talk about a coach with a great demeanor, talks so respectfully to the kids, and the kids just respect him so much. And we're very lucky to have him as a coach here at Southeast High School. Transplanted down here from Indiana. I'll tell you what, what a great guy. And these kids don't know how well they got it. Having Coach A all the way down from Westfield, Indiana, way up there by Indianapolis.
And Boilermaker.
And, had the pleasure of meeting his mom, Brian and Ann. What great people, too. And they're very proud of Coach. So,
yeah, great coach, great social studies teacher, and super all-around guy.
Great guy. Going to bring up number 23, right fielder Peter Balos. And he's batting over 400. Freshman. Can use all fields, too.
Yeah, he's coming into this game with 13 RBIs already as a freshman. That puts him 3rd on the team in ribbies.
Yeah, great body, good setup at the plate. Looks very relaxed. I think what you can see is a consistent theme. Nice throw by Hardy.
Yes,
and
sir.
boom, we got him, though. Nice job by Sammy back there.
Yeah, nice job by the freshman catcher.
There's another one with a great body and a lot of years left to play in high school baseball, and hopefully he continues to get better, too, our own Sam Hardy. So that was a great job cutting down that base runner right there. It's going to give us 2 outs on the inning, so hopefully we can get us a little ground ball that we can handle, make a play, and get out of this inning.
Yep.
Kobe misses down a little bit.
A little down and inside.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, not a bad place to miss. If the batter does put a bat on that, it's tough to do anything with it.
And Metters waits back on that hop. Strong throw across the diamond for out number 3. So unfortunately, the Falcons score a couple of runs right there. After the top of third, it is 3-0 Falcons. If you haven't done so, you should like the SETV Facebook page. You can find it on facebook.com/SEHS television. Not only will you get reminders and direct links to all of the events that Southeast Television broadcasts live, but you will also get notices of the other activities that our SETV students are involved in. And while you're at it, share the Facebook link with your friends and family. That's facebook.com/SEHS television. You can also find all that information on the website, SETV News.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we said earlier in the broadcast, you know, great bunch of kids, great teacher. You should definitely check that out. They're at all sporting events. You can find SETV at football. You can find them at baseball. You can find them at softball and volleyball. I mean, there is no sport or activity that Miss Clark won't take her kids to.
Absolutely. Now, she does a phenomenal job. I just can't say enough about her and the kids. And knowing her, you know, when we tell her she does such a great job, the first thing she does is says it's not her, it's the kids. It's kind of like a coach.
Yeah.
She
gets a lot of praise from us. There might be some other Seminoles out there listening. How about our senior secretary, Miss Suzanne Thies?
Wow, that is some support from
Give her a shout out.
Yeah, a little shout out to Miss Thies there. Talk about a hard-working woman. I don't know what we would do without her on campus. I'll tell you that much.
I know she helps several of us do our jobs correctly.
Well, she keeps us all in line. There's no doubt about
Absolutely.
that. So I love that she's spending her Wednesday evening listening to us. So that's great. So that's going to bring up number 17, our catcher, the 7-hole hitter, Sam Hardy.
Yeah, let's see if that great put out, that throw down to second, maybe translates to some extra confidence at the plate. Takes one low right there. Let's see if he can do something with the stick, Coach.
Well, he's definitely a kid that's got some thump and some juice when he runs into one. And again, only a freshman and just a great kid, hard worker. Kind of gets around that one, ground ball to the shortstop, and that's going to be a 6-3. But put ball in play. Didn't strike out, hit the ball hard on the ground. Not much more you can ask for other than a hit. So good job by Sam. Bringing up number 14, center fielder Devin Stewart.
Yeah, Devin's another one of those just all-around great kids. You know, you can find him around Southeast High School taking some top-level academic classes. I believe he helped us host the athletic table at back-to-school night earlier in the year. Just a great all-around kid.
He takes a ball inside. Yeah, great kid. And, you know, it wasn't just Devin. I wish I could remember a couple of the other kids that were there at the table. But just this whole baseball team is just full of some really good kids. Love working with them. That's going to be a weak fly out to the second baseman there by Stewart.
Yeah, couldn't quite muscle that over the second baseman's head.
So with 2 outs, it's going to bring up number 13, first baseman Griffin Schwartz. Griffin, just a sophomore, first year starting at first base, does a very good job defensively over there. A lot of room to grow.
Yeah, hitting in the 9 spot tonight. Has a little bit of speed. I think this is another one of those rollover guys, Coach.
Absolutely. IB student, hardworking kid, very polite. I get to see him every morning when he gets dropped off at school in the student loop, and you know, every morning. Morning, Coach. So just again, little things like that are part of the reason why you see how respectful these baseball kids are, and there's a lot of really good kids at Southeast High School.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you and I get to see that every day. Takes one down the pike right there.
Yeah, after coming, you know, and he was stalking fastball on that first one and was dead on it, and then to take that one there, hope he wasn't guessing. Takes curveball down right there. That ball had some bite on it. That was a good job by Griffin laying off of that. And he hangs alive. Catcher unable to hang on to that. Tobio lost the handle on that one. So Griffin's still alive. Deuces Wild on the board.
Yeah, Griffin used to play a little bit of second base and third base before moving over to second. Good eye on the breaking pitch, breaking off the outer third.
Yeah, you mean before moving over to first? But
Yes, sir. Excuse me.
Absolutely, we got you.
Trying to multitask there, watching the pitch.
Yeah, it's not the easiest thing to do. I challenge people that think that they could do this to come up here and give it a whirl. It's a lot of fun, but it's also a lot of work.
Looks like he muscled that over the first baseman's head.
That's going to be the first base hit for the Noles. A little bleeder over the first baseman's head, but you know what? In the book, it's a 1B. It's a line drive. You say whatever you want.
Yeah, we'll take it. I mean, rallies have been started with much less.
Absolutely, absolutely. Bringing up our second baseman, number 5, Caden Steffen. So now we're back to the top, back to the leadoff, and as you said, Coach, there are a lot of runs can be scored with 2 outs. Caden swinging at the first pitch. Hard ground ball to the shortstop, takes the short way to second for the 6-4 force out. But I love the aggressiveness with Caden right there. I have no problems with that whatsoever. It was another hard-hit ground ball.
Just right to the guy.
Yeah, it had the atom ball going for sure.
Yeah, it took a nice cut.
So that's the end of the third inning with the score 3-0. We'll be back with more Seminole baseball after this public service announcement. And we're live back here at Southeast High School, Seminole baseball. We are into the top of the 4th inning with the number 7, third baseman Wyatt 7 leading off for the Falcons. So we need a quick 1-2-3 inning by Kobe Garcia and the Seminole defense. Get us back in there and hopefully to get those bats going.
Yeah, this is a kid that Coach Sauerback believes has a lot of potential, could possibly go D1 or maybe even a late round draft pick. So I believe that's his second hit of the night. He has a very nice swing. Just stroked that one into left field.
Yeah, 7, just a sophomore right there. So looks good. Just full of young talent. Bringing up number 24, first baseman Max Rundy. Max, a junior. Also their number 2 pitcher.
Batting .346 on the season. Coming in with 4 RBIs and a double.
And Sam wasn't able to get that runner. Ball was on the wrong side of the bag, but another strong throw by Sam.
Yeah, made a decent throw. Like you pointed out, though, Coach, wasn't on the glove side there to make an accurate tag. But, you know, the freshman, his arm is coming around. You just see him getting better and better each game, offensively and defensively.
Absolutely. And definitely has some upside. He's still pretty raw right now as a baseball player. But I'll tell you what was pretty encouraging is before the season started, I was able to get one of my good buddies, George Carroll, works for the Blue Jays organization as a catching coach for them. Was a catcher himself in the minor league organization for a little bit with the Blue Jays, and spent 2.5 hours down here working with our catchers, working with Sam, and working with Tyler Reisner. And I got to think that those kids, being as smart as they are, definitely took some of that coaching to heart, retained a lot of that stuff, which there is a lot, as you know, being a catcher, there's a lot to it. So to be able to retain all that stuff, I think they've done a very good job, and you're starting to see him reap the benefits from that time that George came out.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes it just takes, one coach to, to work with a player, and, the player stays coachable and listens and opens up to some of those suggestions. And as a freshman, I mean, that's what you want.
Absolutely. And the other thing, too, is, and you've heard me say this before, when you get a kid, it looks like it's going to get over Fred's head.
That was a great piece of hitting. Max, they're going to.
And now the blooper gets over Fred's head. Kind of nothing he could do about it in no man's land out there.
Now he's going to hold Rundy on to first. That's going to bring up a first and third situation with nobody out here in the top of the fourth.
And number 22 center fielder Ben Schnurr coming up to bat. And Schnurr's batting .389, just below the 400 line. So, again, tough
basketball season didn't hurt him at all coming out.
No. So tough situation for Kobe right here. Let's see if we can maybe, a nice strikeout would be crucial right here. But back to what I was saying about the, good coaches and listening and learn. Sometimes it just takes a certain coach where his other coaches have been saying the same thing to him, but then just hearing it from a different voice, but it was the same thing being said to him, and then he gets it. So,
yeah, great secondary lead out of the runner on third. I know that's a big part of Mike Verrill's game. He's a big secondary guy, and that was an easy run for the Falcons to nip there with a wild pitch.
Yeah, well, when the ball's thrown behind the runner, you can have one of the best catchers in the world back there. Those are tough to get. I don't care if you're Pudge Rodriguez back there.
No, that was absolutely not on Sam. I mean, you would like him to smother it, but that's a tough play.
High pop fly down the left field line, and no attempt by Donald White out there, as he was not going to get that one.
Yeah, I'm not even sure Donald saw that. He's, this sun here comes right onto the field. So sometimes you usually see these, whether it's the Seminole defense or their opponent, they usually got sunglasses on.
Well, he's shading it with his glove out there, but,
yeah.
The one thing that I'll say, I've said it many, many times, and I'll say it forever, they don't cancel baseball games because the sun is shining.
No, they do not. They barely cancel them when it's raining.
As long as it ain't lightning. So Schnurr battling tough in there. We need Kobe to get that K right here. Ground ball to Metters, and that ate him up.
Another first and third position. Yeah, you got to square that ball up. I mean, it's tough as a young third baseman on the varsity team, but you cannot olay balls over there.
No, and Kyle's a senior on this team, and you could tell he's a little upset with himself. But you got to shake it off and get on to the next one. One of my good buddies that I work with in the baseball factory, I picked it up from him. He's the coach of Pensacola, and he says, Brian Llewellyn, he says, you got to flush it. You got to let it go because you're not getting it back.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. That's why I use it. Part of my case method, copy and steal everything. So it's going to bring up number 8, second baseman Brock Saletti, left-handed hitter. First and third. Nobody out.
Yeah, Mr. Saletti coming in below the Mendoza line. For those of you out there that are a little too young to know what that means, he's below 200. Mario Mendoza, second baseman for the Pirates in the late 70s, early 80s. Still coming in, couple of hits, couple of RBIs. 167 average for Saletti.
And a stolen base by Schnurr, uncontested right there.
Yeah, Seminoles gave him that one.
Coach is really excited about Saletti. He's only a freshman, only 14 years old, so a young freshman at that, and just needs some innings, he feels, to continue to grow a little bit. But again, another young, athletic, good baseball player that Coach Sauerbeck is excited to work with. So runners on second and third, nobody out here in the top of the fourth. And that's a strike by Kobe. So Kobe did a nice job early in this game of filling it up, and I think he's still done a pretty good job with that. He is, I'm going to do the old cardinal rule of it right here and say he hasn't walked anybody yet. And what they say is every time you say that,
coach.
Here it comes. But as a pitcher, if I'm out there and I'm throwing a ball over the plate and I'm getting ground balls and my defense isn't working for me, I start to press a little bit. I start to nibble on corners and think I need to get strikeouts because you lose a little faith in your defense.
Yeah.
And I understand that. I never was a pitcher, but been around the game long enough to know that, that's probably what they're thinking. I'm just going to take this into my own hands.
Yeah, absolutely. As a former catcher, I've seen that quite a bit. They start pressing, and that's when the catcher goes out there to give a little chat in the ear, calm them down a little bit. And look at that, Coach. No sooner did you say it, the universe gave it to you. We got our first walk of the game out of Kobe Garcia.
You can put that one on me if you'd like to, but it's I feel for Kobe.
He didn't miss by much.
No, and I feel for him a little bit, Coach, because he was pounding zone. He was getting ground balls. He was, the bleeder over the shortstop's head. But we had a bleeder over the first baseman's head, and they're just making us pay for it.
Yeah, this should be a 1-0 game. But, as we've talked, the Seminole offense only has one hit on the game so far. It's tough to win games when you're not hitting, and especially when you're not scoring. You're not going to win any games that way. So, hopefully, the Seminole offense still has a few innings to come alive. So we got no outs right now, but, we're a ground ball strikeout away from the kids, getting back in this.
Absolutely. And that's going to bring up the 9-hole hitter, number 15 left fielder, Calvin Sauerbeck. Was a 6-3 ground out in his first AB. We sure would take another one of those right now.
Yeah, lays off that ball up and away to the lefty.
But we got nobody warming up in the bullpen, so Coach A is going to be riding Kobe for a little bit here. And we look like we got us a little jam shot to the shortstop. Tried to do the good old fakeroo where I dropped it, but the umpire was on top of that and was not falling for that. So that's going to be an F6 right there for the first out. Bringing up the leadoff hitter, catcher Ben Tobio. Tobio 0 for 2 on the night. And it would be really nice to see Kobe get us a nice ground ball for that good old 6-4-3 DP. Heck, I don't care what it is. Just give me a DP anyway.
Yeah, Tobio's a sleeping giant, though. As I mentioned earlier, 561 average leading the team. A little surprised he's 0-2. Takes a ball upstairs right there. So hopefully Kobe can keep pounding that zone, low in the strike zone. You don't want this kid's bat to come alive.
Well, and you don't want to fall behind. You get behind 2-0, 3-0, and you're and there you go. The kid does a nice job of trying to go with that pitch. Got us a put out to center field. It's going to score a run. So sac fly to center field by Tobio. And that's going to make it 5-0 Falcons. But 2 outs, bringing up number 9, the pitcher, Devin Guzman. Guzman 0-2 on the night. And it'd be a great opportunity for Kobe right here to get that third out and get the Seminole offense in there and hopefully get things rolling. Ball misses in.
Yeah, Devin's on the mound tonight. Coach Sauerbeck and the Falcons had 4 games this week, so Devin, their usual second baseman, got called to the bump. We talked a little bit earlier about his inexperience there, but those 4 game weeks can be killers. And there's Robert McConico drifting over to grab that baseball out of the air to end the inning. And we'll be going into the bottom of 5 with our Seminole offense. Bottom of 4.
And that's the end. That's the end of top of 4 with the score 5-0. And we'll be back with more Seminole baseball after this public service announcement.
What is it this time? I mean, it's in the trash can. Do you see it anywhere else? Seriously, come on.
And we're live back here at Southeast High School, Seminole baseball. Bottom of the 4th inning, with the score 5-0 Falcons. Leading off for the Seminoles in the bottom of 4 is going to be our number 2 hole hitter, number 3 shortstop Fred Dariano. So, Coach, it'd be a great opportunity, a great time, no better time than now for the Knoll offense to kick it in gear and put up a crooked number.
Yeah, we're starting to run out of a little bit of time here. 3 more at-bats for the Knowles offense. You don't want to, if you can get a crooked number here, start chipping away. But again, I believe the Seminole offense only has 1 hit at the moment.
That is correct, Coach.
So we need some bats to come alive. We need to work on some hits here, and then we can start worrying about runs.
Well, base runners is all we need right now, whether it's by hit by pitch, walk. I really don't care. Need some base runners, put some pressure on. Fred takes strike 1. Didn't like that one.
Yeah, I know Coach A really likes Fred's leadership skills. Primarily one of our shortstops, but I know Coach likes to use him as that 3rd starter when he can. Another IB student with a GPA higher than our IQs.
Well, Coach, I've been around the game for quite some time. I don't even come close to claiming to know everything or being the best coach that's out there, by no means. I've had the opportunity to learn from a lot of really good coaches out there, and I still get to be around the game by working, when I'm not here at Southeast High School, getting to work for, I guess you would call it my second employer. I don't think it's a job when you get to do what you love, but I also work for the baseball factory based out of Columbia, Maryland, and I get to see a lot of talent, a lot of players across the country. And I'll tell you, I really like what I see out of Fred Dariano. You've been around me a long time. For me to be high on a guy, it's something. And
yeah, I know those compliments don't come easy.
Well, and again, I'm not God's gift of baseball by no means, but I just love his setup. I love his demeanor. He's a good little leader, and I think that the future is he's got a high ceiling if he wants.
Yeah, that was a tough one. Took a called 3rd. I could tell he's very upset about that, but he'll bounce back. He's all right.
Well, and you know how I feel about taking called strike 3s. Don't leave it in the umpire's hands. You got a weapon in your hand. Let's do damage with it.
Yeah.
Going to bring up 3rd baseman, number 2, Kyle Metters. Kyle flew out to right field on his first time up and looked to be going that way. Foul ball out the right side. Kyle, a senior.
Yeah, it does a little relief work for Coach A. Brother was on the team last year for that district championship Seminole team. His brother Cody was a part of that squad.
And I knew it would come up in today's broadcast, Coach, but I think I did a little homework, and I got an opportunity to speak with former Knoll coach Phil Olson. We were working a baseball factory event in Sanford, actually, one of our tryouts. And we were talking about doing the play-by-play, etc. And we got a ground ball to 3rd base, and that's handled very easily by the 3rd baseman for a 5-3 putout. It's going to bring up left fielder number 6, Donald White. But we were talking to Coach, and I was like, Coach, you were here for a long time. Give me a little history lesson on some Southeast baseball. Coach Olson won 2 district championships while he was here. And then Coach Dan Durrance won a district championship and runner-up.
Oh, wow.
So Coach A then comes in and wins one last year. So there are some district titles in baseball here at Southeast High School.
Yeah, I know Coach Olson probably tuned in a little bit to our last broadcast. I told him how when we were a part of our coaching squad, we used to come over here a little bit, and I'm sure he quickly reminded you that he came away with a couple of wins against our squads as well.
That's for sure. So Donald attempted a bunt for a hit. Donald is known to be a very strong bunter. And turns on that one. It eats up the 3rd baseman. That was a hot shot by Donnie right there.
Yeah, one of the things I love about Donnie is that he takes a look at that 3rd baseman just like another leadoff hitter I know. I think our very own 9-man Coach Collis used to take a look at that 3rd baseman. Coach, tell us a little bit about your leadoff approach and what that can do to your batting average, just checking that third baseman every once in a while?
Well, when I was fortunate enough to play my first 2 years of JUCO ball at Manatee Community College, which is now SCF, I got thrown into the leadoff thing after a couple of injuries. I pretty much batted down, and I had a hard time. That's an out by the third baseman. We'll carry on.
Yeah, it's a tough one for Robert. He's disappointed in himself, but that's 3 for the Noles. But this does give Coach Collis to finish up my question for him.
So, you know, again, we're being able to play under a Hall of Fame coach, giving me the opportunity, was totally blessed to be able to play for him, and trying to get me to understand what my job as a leadoff hitter was. And I will confess and say it that my first 2 years, I was not very good at bunting for a hit, and it really hurt me. But I did lead and still hold the career walk record at SCF with 109 walks in 2 years.
Wow.
And I just understood that it wasn't my job to drive in guys. My job is to get on base any way that I can
at all costs,
and let the big guys that are always in the newspaper drive me home. I'm not going to be in the newspaper. I'm kind of like the O-lineman on a college football national championship team, and that's totally okay. But you have to have a kid who's willing to buy into that. Yeah. You have to be willing to buy into what's going on, and that was the biggest thing for me. You know, I knew I wasn't a home run hitter. I was just flat, you know, hit it through the 6-hole. I ran very well, and I understood that. And I think for a leadoff hitter in high school, or a guy that is going to do that job very well, he's got to understand those couple of things, and he has to be selfless.
Yeah, and you've told me before how many points to your batting average you thought that gave you, and I mentioned that to Donald at lunch one day while I was on my lunch duty, and sure enough, since then, he kind of takes a look down there every once in a while, you know, if he thinks he can muscle out 50 extra points or so, or, you know, he's going to take a look and ultimately get on base to give his team a chance to get him over and get him across the plate.
Yeah, and as we start the top of the 5th, that'll be shortstop number 11, Mike Madigan. And again, I will say, in my junior and senior year, I finally figured out the bunt, and this just adds to your question about batting average. I went up there. I also set records for still walking a lot up there, but I added 16 and 18 bunt for hits my junior and senior year.
Wow.
And batted 376 both years instead of 289, 290.
Yeah.
So you see what it does.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's pretty good stuff.
Yep.
So 2-0 count here to Madigan. Had an RBI single his last time up. Shortstop, very athletic player. Get us a foul ball right there. Schwartz giving chase. Think he's going to run out of room.
Yeah, Coach Sauerbeck has a lot of praise for Mr. Madigan. You know, very impressed with his swing. You know, Coach Sauerbeck gave us a quote that he, you know, he believes that, you know, that Mike Madigan's the best pure hitter he's seen at the high school level. And, you know, you can see that. You can kind of see that with his approach to this at bat. He's kind of taking some pitches, driving them down the line. You know, he's holding the stick a little bit, working it.
Yeah, coaches know their players better than we do, so you know, that's why we ask them questions before the game. We ask for a little information so we can talk to them. Ground ball to Stefan at second, and the easy 4-3 put out of Madigan right there. That's going to bring up number 23, right fielder Peter Ballos.
Yeah, Mr. Ballos batting .442. Scored 16 runs this year, 19 hits, 13 RBIs, 5 doubles, and that's before we update his stats after today's game.
Yeah, great frame on this young man right here. Definitely passes the eye test, I'll tell you that.
Yep. Yeah, solid-looking baseball player.
And a good swing.
Oh, just out of reach.
And that's going to bring up number 7, third baseman Wyatt Seven, who is having a heck of a night with a double and a single, stolen base, 2 for 2 perfect on the night. Be a great opportunity and great time for Kobe to get that ground ball double play right now.
Yeah, the Seminole defense absolutely has the ability to roll over a double play, and you're right, Coach. Now would be the time to get in there and get those sticks Cracking. Nice throw over. Runners back in.
Well, you were talking about leadoff hitters, and I had mentioned just finding a way to get on base. You got to have base runners. You can't score anything without a guy being on base. And the one thing that I see right now, the difference in this game is we've committed 4 errors. They've got 5 hits. That's 9 base runners and 1 walk. That's 10 base runners through 5 innings. We've got 1 hit.
And they're still pressing. The hit and run was on right there, so they're still looking to put a couple more on the board.
Well, I had my coach up at Bruton Parker College, the great Mike Robbins, the true 9-man that I knew. Owe so much to that man. Second to my father, and I was very blessed, to have 2 men like Coach Hill and Coach Robbins in my life. And other than my dad on top of those guys, a pretty lucky guy. But he used to say, "I'll stop trying to score when you stop trying to win." So
yeah.
So we're nowhere near that time where any coach should be thinking about calling off the dogs. And these 2 teams are starting to get gear up for district play, playoff play, and they need to make sure that all their signs are working and that all facets of their game are working correctly.
Yeah, absolutely. And these kids know each other too. I mean, this is an in-town. It's kind of an in-town rivalry game right here. They know Falcon players. The Falcon players know the Knoll players.
They all know each other from playing travel ball and playing here. And yeah, there's no doubt about that.
Little wild pitch just misses the head of Mr. Sveven. Runner advances to second base.
So 1-1 count, and a runner in scoring position, and a guy who's swinging a hot bat tonight.
Yeah, we'll see if Freddie can just continue to pound the zone. Let his defense work behind him. A little high there. Looks like we got 2 balls and a strike.
Tell you what a gorgeous, gorgeous afternoon for a baseball game. My friends up north, they've been getting pounded by that bad weather. And we got a hot shot third. Metters throws it across, and he gets back on the bag. Yes, he does for the putouts for 5-3. So we finally retire 7 for the first time tonight. That's going to bring up number 24, first baseman Max Rundy.
And I got to apologize to Kobe real quick. I think I've been calling him Freddie for the last for the last inning or so.
Yeah,
or so.
just that little bit right there. I wasn't going to say anything to you.
Come on, Coach, kick me under the table.
People might have not even picked that up right there. So Kobe doing a good job getting that ground ball to third base, and now another wild pitch right here and another run scored.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Nobody, nobody told Sam. Nobody in the infield told Sam where that ball went. That ball went straight behind him. He's kind of looking around for it. The infielder's got to talk and give your catcher a heads up of what he's dealing with.
Yeah, well, you got a point. I'd like to give a shout out to a buddy of mine. He lives up in the Pittsburgh area. Guy worked with Baseball Factory. He's a scout for the Baltimore Orioles. His name is Rich Pasquale. I'll tell you what a great guy, and I know he's listening right now, and I know I can't wait to see him again at another factory event. Maybe he can get out of that nasty weather up there and get down there and play some golf, Coach, with us.
Yeah, absolutely. I like the fact that he's another Yinzer. I represent the Berg as well. Pulled his foot off the bag. So yeah, Coach Pasquale, I know it's you're probably rocking some 25-degree weather up there. My cousins are in western Pennsylvania as well, and I think they Snapchatted me some snow-covered ground here over the last couple days. We're sitting here. What's the weather like out here, Coach?
About 80.
About 80 and sunny, huh?
So that's gonna be it for Kobe on the night right there. Coach 8 making a pitch and change. We'll get this number on here in just a second. One thing that I do want to point out with this St. Stephen's Falcons team is they are without one of their best players, Jacob Ayer, one of their captains. He's a junior. They lost him to Tommy John surgery right before the year started. That is the assistant coach, Coach Ayer's son. So what they did is they made him their first base coach. So here's a kid in high school, and he is their first base coach. He also sits in the chair and does flips to the hitters every day. And, he was their number 1 pitcher. So he loses their number 1. And even though the kid's disappointed because he was looking to have a tremendous season, the guy is
he's out there with the hard helmet on,
first
setting record runners to second,
coaching first base,
yeah.
and being what is being a good teammate.
That's absolutely.
And I just think that needs to be pointed out because that says a lot about a teenage young man who had something terrible happen to him. You know, he's bummed out, can't play, Tommy John surgery, looking forward to the season. He says, you know what?
I'll take Dad's job.
I'm going to be a coach.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and take Dad's job.
So,
take the first base coaching spot.
Very, very cool to hear that good story. I mean,
absolutely.
An unfortunate situation happened to a young man, but he turned it into a good situation.
Absolutely.
So now pitching for the Noles is number 5, Caden Steffen. We've seen Caden come in this relief appearance before, sophomore, but does a nice job on the bump, and I think that when Coach A loses, maybe a couple of upperclassmen, Caden will step in and chew up some innings for him. Does a nice job. Hate to take him out of the middle because he plays a good second base, but you got to have somebody who's not afraid to pound the zone, and Caden does a pretty good job of that most of the time. So we got number 22, center fielder Ben Schnurr up to bat. Ben 0 for 2 on the night. Did reach on an E5 last time, and did drive in the game's first run with a RBI ground out to the shortstop.
Yeah, a little low for Ben, but it did hit the strike zone. You know, I like where Caden's keeping the ball at. Nice and low in the strike zone. You know, as a former pitchers and catchers coach, that's where you want him to be, in the strike zone, and hopefully a little lower on the lower side, especially if the umpire's calling those.
So I was just looking through some of our notes here, and one of the things that, we've been sitting here talking about, and, that talking to Coach A before the game and reading some of the notes, he said the keys to the game, they got a pickoff. Nice job by Caden. Picked the runner off who was sleeping at first.
Yeah, and you know what? Caden was eyeballing him from the moment he took the bump. He was eyeballing that runner. So good heads-up play by Caden, knowing if he could stick with it, he was going to get him eventually. Nice job getting out of that inning.
Yeah, absolutely. So after the top of 5, we are at 6-0. And we will be right back with Seminole baseball after this public service announcement. And we're live back here at Southeast High School for some Seminole baseball. The C&C show. Coach Clark, Coach Collis show. I like
C squared, I think you mentioned earlier. I sort of like that.
Yeah, I don't feel comfortable saying that because that's like an IB term, and I'm not that smart.
Yeah, Coach, always a pleasure coming out here and sitting with you and doing these games. You know, you and I have had a lot of fun over the years coaching baseball together. We've had the opportunity to actually work together this year, as our athletic director. And he's an assistant principal. And, it's just nice having the band back together and, watching some baseball on some beautiful nights, talking baseball with an old friend. And, as we pointed out, Coach A, great squad, Miss Clark, SETV. It's just great to come out here to the Knoll baseball field and watch some baseball with you.
Well, I will say that, after coming on board, being down at Sarasota Military Academy for 13, 14 years, it was tough to leave. But coming up here, I will say that this is one of the things I enjoy the most about coming to Southeast High School and having the opportunity to do these things, which you didn't have down there. So this has definitely been, I guess you could call it a perk of the job.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that close second is Chef Jackie in the Knoll Cafe. For us, I know you and I try and get our lunch in there every once in a while, and I like to get that homemade lemonade when you let me cheat on our diet.
Not our diet, your diet. Well, leading off for the Knolls, number 19 designated hitter Kyle Wright. Kyle, a strikeout victim in his first time up.
Yeah, still a freshman, so he's going to be around the Knoll team for a while. but also one of Mr. Platt's TSA students. So this is Technology Science Association, which is another Seminole program that's world-renowned. I mean, they went to Singapore and won a world title. So another very smart kid. You know, not only are we offering that IB program here, you have extracurricular activities outside of sports like TSA that are going across the country, going across the world, doing big-time things for the Seminole Nation.
And Kyle worked out a walk right there. So
Yeah.
there's that lead-off walk. Lead-off walk will kill you. So
This will make a coach cringe.
I'll tell you what. So that's exactly what we needed right there. Looks like we might have a courtesy runner for Kyle. Negative. They got the
Count wrong.
count wrong for sure. I thought, but I didn't say anything because it was in favor of us. So I was kind of hoping that they wouldn't catch it, but they did. So full count. Hopefully Kyle can repeat that walk down to first base. Hacking at a fastball.
Yeah, taking a swing. Good for him.
Very good. Very nicely done.
So we're going to start the full count process all over again. Kyle steps in, the pitch on the way.
And unfortunately,
Swing and a miss.
it's the same result as his first AB. That's going to bring up number 17, catcher Sam Hardy. Freshman, big body, passes the eye test. Let's see if Sammy can get us started right here with a little gap shot. Stand-up double would be nice.
Yeah, this is a kid that has a lot of power potential. You know, obviously still raw, as you pointed out.
Yeah, definitely room to improve. But again, another respectful kid, hard worker. Coach Mashad and Coach A, they say nothing but good things about him.
Yep, another IB student. And, you know, Coach A, as a former pitcher, loves the way Sam receives the ball. You know, I know that was one thing when you and I were coaching together. We had to get our catchers out of that mindset of catching.
Yep.
You're not catching. You are receiving the ball, and you're doing everything you can to make sure that umpire has a good eye at your pitcher's pitch.
Absolutely. Well, catchers can make good pitches look bad, and they can make bad pitches look good.
Yep.
So a very important piece, you know, the receiving. It's a tough job being a catcher. And of course, you know, Coach A would knows the importance of that. You know, him being a former pitcher, won the Big Ten championship in 2012 as a sidearm relief pitcher.
Yeah, he's a Big Ten champion.
For Purdue University.
Yep.
You know, and he played with a couple of big leaguers. You know, Kelvin Pawlecki for the Mets and Nick Wickren for the Marlins. So
that was a tough breaking ball right there. That's tough for a junior or a senior varsity player, more or less a freshman. Yeah, that was a tough breaking ball that broke right on the outer third for the strikeout for Sam.
So that's going to bring up number 14, center fielder Devin Stewart. Devin, another one of our unbelievably smart IB kids. Takes strike one right down the middle. So the Knowles bats are very quiet again tonight. Foul ball out the right side.
Heading towards your truck, Coach.
No chance. It is parked strategically by a portable. Not going to happen. So Devin down 0-2 early, and he's got to change his approach, switch over to a two-strike approach, spread it out a little bit, choke up. Ball in play right here. You're just playing the flick game. And that's a good job right there, staying alive. And
not bad there. Coach A tries to make a play, booted it like a pitcher. You know, I'm just impressed that he tried to do that. I've coached with coaches over there at third. They don't even make the attempt. They let that thing roll by. They don't want to look any type of way.
Early in my career, I try to make every play, and as I get older, I got no time for that.
Yeah,
I got no time for that. So that looked to be like pretty good curveball that missed up, I'm guessing a little bit, but this
a little in.
This young pitcher's got a good feel for the breaker.
Yeah, I know Coach Sauerback went with this pitcher, you know, because he had a four game week. But I'll tell you what,
he's dealing. You know, he's pounding the zone.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. I mean, he's holding the Seminoles here to 1 hit and, 7 Ks. I'd say this guy is doing a phenomenal job for his first time on the bump this season.
Phenomenal, absolutely.
So at the end of 6, it's 6-0 Falcons. And we've got Caden Steffen still going out there on the bump to deal a little bit. The Noles are down to 2 more cracks of the bat to get this thing going the other way for us. And I know it's got to be frustrating for Coach A to see the offense do this. Of course, you never want to do it on, when it's on TV either, for sure. But
yeah, it looks like we have a defensive change there. It looks like old Sam is heading out to third base, and we've got.
It'll probably be Tyler Reesner will be coming in to catch the last 2. Tyler is a junior on our team. Splits the catching duties with Sam Hardy. Tyler, another one of our IB students, TSA members, also a member of the swim team.
4 for 7 in his last 2 games, so the stick's starting to come around. There for Tyler.
Yeah, so hopefully when Tyler's gets his shot up the bat, maybe he can be 5 for 8. That would be great.
Yep, get this thing started.
Absolutely. So leading off for the Falcons here in the top of the 6th is going to be number 22, center fielder Ben Schnurr. And the reason why he is leading off this, and if you saw him in the last inning, is because we picked off a runner to end the top of 5. So he was up to bat, so he stays there.
Yep, starts with a fresh count.
0 for 2 on the count on the night. Did drive in the first run of the game for the Falcons with an RBI ground out to short. Seems to be a little bit of a pull guy as he then grounded out to third base. But I'll tell you, there's no such thing as an easy play to the left side of the field right now with that sun where it is.
Yeah.
But as I said before, they don't cancel games or call games because of sunshine. That's why they make gloves and sunglasses and hats. That looked to be a pretty good pitch right there, maybe a little bit in.
Yeah, it looked like it was on the inner third, but we can't see from behind can't see from right directly behind here. You and I got a rough view of these at bats. We're down the first base sideline above the visitors' dugout there.
So Steffen gives the leadoff walk to Schnurr, bringing up number 8, second baseman Brock Saletti.
Yeah, it looks like Sam, our third baseman, got his sunglasses on, helped shade a little bit. So we got Saletti up, number 8. Nubs one, little nubber.
Yeah, and
into shallow left.
So definitely not the start to the 6th that the Noles were hoping for. A walk and then a bleeder over the shortstop. Looked to be a little lob wedge with a little bit of spin on it. But again, as we said earlier, it doesn't matter. It's a 1B in the book.
Yeah, and that's runners on first and second with nobody down. Number 15 up to bat.
Left fielder Calvin Sauerbeck.
Yeah, in the 9 spot.
Sauerbeck is searching for his first hit of the night. In this situation right here, I'm the 9-hole guy. I can run a little bit. And that's a nice piece of hitting right there. And looks to be it's going to be a 4-6 fielder's choice RBI. So the Falcons get another run. And sorry about that delay, folks. We got number 3 catcher Ben Tobio up to bat.
And another first and third situation.
And that's my mistake right there. I thought a run scored, Coach, there. They did not. That was just an FC. So now we have runners on first and third. Now would be a great time for that double play. And safe on that, and then they do score that run. So a little some more aggressive base running by the Falcons. putting pressure on the defense, and why wouldn't you? Why
Yeah,
wouldn't you?
Tyler Reasoner, pretty sure he got the tag on, kind of looked at the umpire. Umpire didn't see it. Throw came in a little high, but runner does come across. Runner does advance to second. 7-0 Falcons.
And leadoff hitter Tobio up to bat.
Yeah, one of the most dangerous hitters, at least statistically, in this Falcon lineup. Has been hitting the ball hard today, but hitting them at people. So this is a tough one because this is a matter of time before this kid gets a good bat on ball.
Pretty good pitch, down a little bit. If you're going to miss down, especially to this guy. Noel's battling. Late strike call by the umpire. Home plate umpire Ben Eisen. Two-one count to Tobio. Ball out. And the 3-1 count, Tobio. Do have a base open, but the lineup doesn't get any easier after him. And that's going to be a...
He's looking two all the way. He's going second.
That's going to be a stand-up double RBI for Tobio. And that's going to bring out another trip by Coach A. And we'll see what goes on here and see who the next Seminole pitcher is going to be. And it looks like he's handed the ball off to Fred Dariano.
Yeah, I think Coach looking to stop the bleeding here. I mean, we're in an 8-0 ball game right now. You know, one, maybe two hits out of the Knoll offense. You know, time to shake it up a little bit, see what we can do.
Well, the thing is it's when you're not handling the baseball defensively, it sets a tone across your whole entire team, and it's kind of contagious. Pitchers feel it, you know, and then you start digging a hole even more and more. Their offense keeps clicking. We're making errors. They're getting hits. They're getting walks. Next thing you know, it's 8-0. It's tough.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
But you got to find a way to battle. The game is not over until the end, until that last out is made. There's been many a times in the history of this game where there's been 8 runs scored in one inning.
Oh, absolutely. Especially at the high school level, the wheels can come off at any time. So, you know, you can't quite count the Knolls out yet. They haven't done much to show us that they're going to spark it up tonight, but you know they do have a couple of at-bats left, and you know you can't count out any team here, especially at the high school level, because as you said, you know you can start pouring in runs before you know it.
Absolutely. All it takes is, you know, an error here, a walk there, and then that second hit of the night in a gap, scoring 2 guys, ball off the fence, another error. It could just keep going and going and going. So that is the game of baseball. And that's just what you have to keep telling yourself. So now we have number 9, the pitcher, Devin Guzman. Guzman 0 for 3 on the night. Did reach on an error on the second at-bat. Reaches for that one, and that one might be trouble
like
as the
it drops
sun,
in.
and it does, and that's going to be a base hit. Drops in front of Donald White. Lost that one in the sun a little bit. So, again, outfielders having a heck of a time out there.
Yeah, give Mr. Guzman batting .311 on the season, leading the team in RBIs with 18.
That's going to bring up the 3-hole hitter, number 11, shortstop Mike Madigan.
Yeah, another good-looking ball player right here, shortstop for the Falcons.
So runners on first and second. Madigan already has 1 RBI on the night. Pickoff attempt at second. Look to have him.
Oof.
And third base umpire Danny Wilson says no.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, this crew's been doing a pretty good job tonight. You know, we are about 150 feet from that call. It looked like he was out to us, but, you know, this crew's been doing an excellent job tonight.
Absolutely.
Very consistent behind the plate. Haven't blown any major calls. And that ball's popped straight up.
And Schwartz makes a call down the first base line for out number 2. And that's going to bring up number 23, right fielder Peter Balos. Freshman, started every game at right field for the Falcons this year and batting in the cleanup. Most clutch hitter the Falcons have had this year. Let's hope he's not clutch right now. That's a big swing and a miss. Good, healthy swing.
Yeah, this young
Peter.
man has a long stride. He steps way out there.
Yeah, definitely could shorten it up a little bit. If I had him, I'd shorten him up a little bit, but I've seen him swing 3 times tonight, and that's it. So.
Yeah, he starts wide and ends wider.
And that should do it. And that does do it. That's going to be an F8 right there. Fly ball to the center fielder, but not before the Falcons tack on some more. And that's the end of the top of the 6th inning with the score 8-0.
Yeah, the Seminole offense has to get something started here. It's on countdown time. You know, since we're going to talk through we want to talk through this one, Coach, or are you going to kick this over to a public service announcement?
No, let's talk this through, but let's do that after we do this sweet promo for Kaiser. We're proud to announce that Kaiser University of Sarasota is once again a business partner of SETV. This is the 13th year that Kaiser has supported the television production program of Southeast High School. At Kaiser University's Sarasota campus, you can get the training you need to pursue a new career in the fields of business, criminal justice, education, healthcare, information technology, law, and much more. They offer associate, bachelor's, and graduate degree programs. Their Sarasota campus also offers a culinary arts and a baking and pastry program. You can find out more about what Kaiser has to offer simply by going to their website at kaiseruniversity.edu. So, Coach, we did keep it here. Had to get in that quick promo for Kaiser. We got to thank the people that are supporting this wonderful SETV program.
Absolutely, helping keeping the lights on.
Helping keeping the lights on. But go ahead and fire off with what you had in mind, and as we get the bottom of the 6th started.
Yeah, just wanted to say hello to the Seminole Nation out there and any of the friends and family of the team or of the coaching staff or of any of the staff members that are out there listening. We sure do appreciate you guys tuning in and watching or listening. I know, you know, Miss Clark's SETV program enjoys putting these on for the masses. So, yeah, just a hello to all the Seminole Nation viewers and listeners out there that are listening to Coach Collis and I do our thing and work our way through this baseball game.
Yeah, absolutely. Leading off the bottom of 6 right here is first baseman number 13, Griffin Schwartz, who does have the lone hit for the Seminoles. But, exactly. Hats off to these kids. And, you know, when the kids like it when there's viewers out there because they're doing it for somebody out there. And that's just cool stuff. I don't know very many, you know, a lot of high schools are starting to come around, but let's make it be known that Southeast High School had this going on before the other schools started doing their things. And most of those schools started off with just, you know, a football in mind, Friday night football lights out, you know, because Bradenton, Florida is very well known for its high school football, but, you know, long before there were any of those other television things at high school, SETV kicked it off, and I think that needs to be known.
Yeah, absolutely. Top-notch program.
And we're 3-1. Griffin working the count here. Would love to have a base runner here to start what would be, we hope to be, a very high run scoring bottom half of an inning. And he takes strike 2 right down the middle.
Yeah, that was a tough one. You know, as you said, he's probably working that count. You know, he's got a full count on him now. His job is to get on base, and he did just that. Took one at the letters high and is going to take his base.
And he is only, you know, he's 2 for 2 on the night as far as getting on base. So good job by Griffin. That's going to bring up our leadoff hitter, number 5, Caden Steffen. Looks like we're going to get a pinch runner for Griffin right now. Number 18, Andrew Friedenberg, junior player, just transferred over from the other coast this year. So let's see if the Noles can get something going with this runner on first and our leadoff hitter up. Caden does a good job of handling the bat. And takes ball up and in right there.
Yeah, you can tell the Knoll offense is being much more patient. You know, they know they're running out of time. They're going to take a couple pitches here, see if they can't work a count, work some base runners on.
Well, and let's not fool ourselves. That's got to be veteran coaching going on right there. I'm sure Coach A has something to do with that and that philosophy that's going on right now. So we have a 1-1 count. I know the board on the TV screen says 0-1, but it is 1-1. 2-1. So Caden working a count right here. Be a great time to have his first hit of the game. Would love to see a little gap shot right here. And that's a well-hit ball, but right at the center fielder.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I think that was the best contact made today by a Seminole hitter, but as you pointed out, Coach, just right to the center fielder. That's unfortunate. So
yeah,
we got one down.
Got that Adam ball going. It's going to bring up number 3, shortstop Fred Dariano. Fred looking for his first hit of the night. Love to see one of his patent 4-hole shots right here, backside, and get that runner all the way to third. And I think, you know, again, just the job that this little pitcher, you know, Devin Guzman's been doing for the Falcons, it's hard to believe that this has been his first start of the year on the bump.
Yeah, he's been pounding the zone all night, throwing strikes. I believe he only has a walk, one walk, I believe.
And that was to Griffin right there, and I did not jinx that one. But, yeah, he's just filling it up. Another good-looking young player. Still got 2 more years in the program after this one. Coach doing a great job with him and doing a great job with the talent that they have over here. I know that if there were, you know, anybody who has played St. Stephen's this year, including Coach A, I can tell you that you'd look at, he's got some players up and down his lineup where you said, I would take him, and him. And that's no discredit to the kids that are on his own team, but it's a respect of watching kids that have talent play baseball. And that's a well-hit ball to right field.
Nice play by the right fielder.
Very nice play by the right fielder. That's number 23, Peter Ballos, making a nice running play into the gap. And that was Fred's. That's his patent place. That's where he goes. He goes to the opposite field, did a nice job, just had the Adam ball going. So a nice piece of hitting by Fred. Unfortunately, it was tracked down by the right fielder. That's going to bring up number 2, third baseman Kyle Metters. But it's
Coach Sauerbeck out to the mound with a big hug there for Mr. Guzman. You know, he did have those 4 games, so Guzman was able to sit those starting pitchers, help Coach Sauerbeck sit those starting pitchers. Really great job on the mound tonight.
Outstanding job by Mr.
Devin Guzman.
Mr. Guzman, for sure. 1 hit, many Ks, only 1 walk, 5 2/3. I don't think that Coach Sauerbeck could ask for anything more out of that young man.
No, that was, yeah, you know, that was best case scenario, Coach. You know, 6 innings, a shutout ball, pounding the zone. You know, deep offense. The Falcons put up some runs behind him, so it looked like Coach Sauerbeck was able to make some substitutions there, get some players in. You know, we've talked a little bit today about playing defense behind the pitchers and the bats coming alive out of the Seminole team, but you know what, as you look up and down this lineup from Coach A, he's got 3 seniors. There's some young pups on this team, so this is a young squad. You know, maybe we should ease up on them a little bit. Only 3 seniors on this Seminole team. from that district championship team last year. So the future's pretty bright for this Seminole squad. So.
Absolutely, Coach, absolutely. And I don't think anybody's going to think that we're being hard on them. Unfortunately, the two broadcasts this year, they went up and kind of got buzzsawed a couple of times. But, you know, I see Coach A every single morning, especially it's during baseball season. And we talk of him, me being a baseball guy and his athletic director. You know, I love talking baseball with him, and they've had some really good games. They've swung the bat and done some good things swinging the bat. It just hasn't been here while we're broadcasting. This team does a very nice job. They can hit. They got a great hitting coach in Alex Mashad. Coach Mashad does a good job. Like I said, maybe it's they just get clammed up when the lights come on and the TV's on.
Yeah,
I don't
a little
know.
bit. You know, with that youth, sometimes you get up and down baseball. You know, they are young, and you see that with some young squads.
Well, it is a game of peaks and valleys. We do know that for sure. So you know, and again, I wouldn't say they're in peaks and valleys right now. It's just, again, they've ran into a couple buzzsaws when we've had them. You know, back when they played Lakewood and we did that game, that guy threw a gem that night.
And that was a tremendous squad. I mean, that was a top-notch squad coming.
So keep in mind that it's, you know, our Southeast Seminoles are playing quality opponents. Those are two quality teams that's going on here. So
absolutely.
Yeah. No discredit to our Knowles. I love our Knowles team. They're good. They're young, and just have had a tough time on TV a couple times. That's all.
Kind of throws the bat out there, try and stay alive. First baseman makes a nice catch over his shoulder, over his bat.
And that's going to end the inning right there. So we're through 6 with the score 8-0 Falcons, and we'll be back with more Seminole baseball after this public service announcement. And we're live back here at Southeast High School, Southeast High Baseball. Going into the top of the 7th, the St. Stephen's Falcons are up over the Southeast Seminoles 8-0. So a tough night for the Noles offensively and defensively. And we are going to try and scratch out. Hopefully Fred can go out here and have a shutdown inning. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 quick inning right here. Get some ground balls, handle the baseball, get in there, and let's go see what we can do with our bats. We still got one crack left at it, and these guys have been known to come back and win baseball games earlier in this season. I was out here for 4.5 hours one night, watched them come back and beat DeSoto in a wild one, 13-12 in 13 innings.
Wow.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to have duty that night. So.
Nice. What time did you go rolling in to take the dog out?
Oh, about 10:30.
There you go.
So, leading off the top of the 7th is number 7, third baseman Wyatt 7, who's 2 for 3 on the night.
Yeah, has made great contact all night. I believe he has a double and then a single. Scored a couple of runs for this Falcon team. I believe his out was a hard hit ball somewhere. This kid's making good contact tonight.
Yeah, good-looking kid. Again, a sophomore. So, a lot of young talent on both teams right now. And that ball's going to miss in a little bit to run it to 2-0.
Yeah, I think Mr. Dariano here just needs to relax, fill up that strike zone, let your defense play. You know, there's no real reason to press here.
No, absolutely not. There's really, if there was any such thing as a non-pressure situation, this would be it. It is the last inning. All you're trying to do is just keep them right there where they're at. You know what? Fill up the zone, let them hit it, and hope that your defense can make a play.
Yep.
And he does just that right there. Go 3-1.
Yeah, it was a great looking pitch. He needs to stay right there.
Love how it stays light out later. I really like that. Foul ball down the third baseline. Coach Verrill is not going to make a play, but is going to mosey on over and get that. Mike Verrill been around this area for a long time. I've heard Coach Sauerbeck nickname him the mayor because he knows everybody.
Yeah.
So,
I had my coaching experience with Mike Verrill over at Braden River.
Yeah, I coached against him when I was at Palmetto.
Yeah,
so been around a long time. And the curveball hits him, so we got a hit by pitch, and 7 is up. On base again. And we've got us a pinch hitter. Give us a minute while we find out who that is. It's going to be number 19, Ross Springstrad.
Yeah, Ross batting .250 on the season.
Yeah, I think he's appeared in about 10 games.
Yeah, 3 hits over 12 at bats. Up there taking a hack.
Yeah, definitely up there free swinging. You like to see that. Kid gets a chance to get in there and pinch hit. And you go up there with that weapon in your hand, do damage with it. Don't leave it sitting on your shoulder.
Yeah, he's not going up there to lead the team in walks.
He's definitely not taking a Coach Collis approach. And quickly he's down in the count, 0-2. So tough way to come in and get your first AB of the night, down 0-2.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was a great breaking ball out of Fred there. So that was a tough pitch there for any varsity hitter.
Very nicely done by Fred right there. You're absolutely right. Let's hope that Fred can finish him off right here or get him a ground ball double play. Throw over. I don't think that was called from the bench. And Fred comes set. And then we have strike 3. So a great job by Fred taking care of the pinch hitter number 19. That's going to bring up number 22, center fielder Ben Schnurr. Schnurr 0 for 2 with a walk on the night. And another attempted stolen base, and he's going to get it there without sliding. So a stand-up stolen base by number 7. So 1 out, runner on second. And St. Stephen's is still looking to do some damage. A nice pitch by Fred right there to even it up 1-1.
Yeah, a little bit off the outer third. It's nice to get that call as a pitcher.
Yeah, and again, he's just trying to get a rhythm out there. He's just trying to get his guys into the dugout right here. Nice job right there, filling it up, getting a swing.
Almost the exact same pitch, same spot.
Absolutely. So, Fred doing a nice job. He can finish it up right here. Taking a little while to get that sign down. I'm not sure if he's having a little hard time seeing Tyler's signs or what's going on there. Kind of slows down the game. You know, and that's another thing, Coach, is what I'd like to see is a little more tempo. Bring it up a little bit. The longer you take as a pitcher, and then your defense goes to sleep. You know, hey, I had a coach in high school, Coach John Carlock, and one of the things that he said that I picked up from him, again, I love the copy and steal everything, the case method, copy and steal everything. We don't come up with these things. We're just learning it from other people and passing the information on. One thing, that kind of motto he had was work hard, work fast, throw strike, change speeds, throw strikes. Yeah, let's go. So nice job by Fred right there. Strikeout to Schnurr. And that's going to bring up second baseman Brock Saletti. I'm sorry, not second baseman. He is now the pitcher, Brock Saletti.
Yeah, this game has been around for a long time, the 1800s. So, you know, and it still looks
and that's
the same.
Great play
catch
by
out of
Robert McConaughey. Absolutely. You were on the same wavelength there, Coach, for sure.
Yeah, ran that one down in the gap, get the Seminoles out of that inning without another run or two. So the deficit is still 8. Real quick, I want to take the time to give my parents a shout out. Carla and Greg celebrated their 39th wedding anniversary at the end of March. So I know that they're watching and listening along with the rest of the Seminole Nation. So I want to just take the time to say hi, Mom and Dad. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sure I'll see you this weekend at some point.
Man, that's awesome. 39 years. I definitely can say that I have not accomplished that, nor will I accomplish that. So that's awesome. Well, congrats to your folks. That is awesome. It's been a while since I saw them.
Yeah, I'm going to see if we can't get old Greg and Carla up to senior night, maybe come say hello or come check out the game. You know, big baseball fans. You know, it's funny, you had just mentioned Coach Carlock's philosophy. I grew up with my dad telling me, you know, make sure your pitchers are changing speed, change location. So very similar philosophy to Coach Carlock.
Yeah, and that's again, that just, you said something that triggers something in my head. You said your dad used to tell you change location, change speed. Nowhere in there does it say that you need to go throw a bunch of curveballs or you need to throw a bunch of changeups.
No, sir.
You know, I played with a guy my freshman and sophomore year. He was a lefty. He threw about 84 to 87, 88. He had 2 pitches. He threw a fastball and a changeup. But the fastball, he threw a 2-seam, 4-seam, and then he threw that changeup 2 different ways. So he threw 2 pitches, but it was really 4 by just 2. His curveball was terrible. But yet he was very successful by changing location, changing eye level. You don't have to go out and spin off a bunch of breaking balls. That's just unbelievable how they do that. So this is going to bring up left fielder number 6, Donald White, and that is going to be a base hit.
Trips on first. He was looking at second, but you know what? He's going to start on first, and that's okay, Donald. You know what? You got on base.
Second hit of the game, we'll take it.
Yeah, didn't quite get that extra base like he wanted, but you know what? Nobody out. Leadoff hitter, did his job, got on base, and we'll see if this can start the Seminole rally.
Well, and hopefully that can trigger something and bring some positive thoughts to number 10, our right fielder, Robert McConaughey.
And this would be the perfect time for Robert McConaughey's bat to come alive right here. This kid has power, potential.
Yeah, absolutely. And comes out swinging, and he shows some of that power by launching one. Pulled it pretty far left, but he launched that thing way on down past the batting cages. So
yeah, a little out in front of it.
Just a little bit. But there's definitely some juice in that bat, and we have seen it from Robert earlier in this season.
Yeah, I believe Robert has a home run on the season. Drove one out left center field early on this year.
Well, he's down 0-2 here, so he's got to change that approach a little bit. Hard ground ball, shortstop, over to second. Not in time for the double play. So the 6-4 put out, that's going to bring up designated hitter, number 19, Kyle Wright.
Yeah, Coach A loves Kyle's ability to drive the ball both ways. He's able to drive the ball into the left center gap and the right center gap. You know, Coach really likes the way he handles the stick.
Yeah, pretty young, talented guy, a little raw still with some ability. Again, just like we've been saying about St. Stephen's team, you know, being so young. And you brought a good point in the last inning. We're very young too, so you lose a bunch of seniors. Sometimes you go through a little bit of growing pains a little bit.
Yeah, infield for the Falcons is back.
And that's a hot shot to right field, but that's going to be caught and trying to double up McConaughey and do end the game. So that's going to be an F9, and then 3 for the double play, which you don't see very often, and that's not the way the Noles wanted to end the game tonight with that. I'm sure that's not going to make Coach A very happy.
Yeah, and that's not going to make Robert happy either. He's a very intelligent ball player. He is not going to be happy with himself on that one. But
yeah, no, for sure. So, well, that's the end of the game with the final score, St. Stephen's 8 and the Southeast Seminoles nothing. We will be back for our final thoughts right after these public service announcements. You're watching Seminole Baseball with SETV Sports.
Ugly.
Worthless.
You're weak. Dumb.
Nerd alert!
Stupid. Fat.
I hate you.
Weirdo.
You're the worst.
Who even
You're
are
such
you?
a dog.
Snake.
So rude.
Funny looking.
Monster.
Dumb.
Loser.
Geek.
Bradenless.
Loser.
Nut job. Nobody even likes you.
Kill yourself. And we're live back here at Southeast High School baseball. And unfortunately, the Noles are on the bad end of a game here with the loss to St. Stephen's Falcons 8-0 here at home. Just a couple of thoughts, Coach. We talked to Coach A before the game, and there were a couple of points that he said that we need to do, but in order to take care of business on this game, and that was handle the baseball, shut down their running game, and we need to get some runners on and put some pressure on their defense.
yeah, we were 0 for 3 on that list.
And unfortunately, we were 0 for 3 on that. So your thoughts on that?
Yeah, again, I mean, just a young squad, So it's tough as a coaching staff and as a team to go through a couple of lopsided losses as the Noles have gone through. But at the end of the day, it's a young team. There's 3 seniors on this team. You got some young pups coming back for next year. So, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, when you have such a young team, that senior leadership can only get you so far. I know those 3 seniors, great leaders, great kids, but got some whippersnappers behind them, some young pups. So these kids are mostly back for next year. And, this is the growing pains, as you mentioned earlier. You got to grow through this.
Yeah, for sure. And again, we're young, but again, I think we got to give some credit where credit is due. And they ran into another very good baseball team.
Yeah.
St. Stephen's did a nice job swinging the bat. And it's that time of the night where we got to pick, a player of the game. And I think we both agree that it's got to be Devin Guzman at 5 2/3 innings, 7 Ks, 1 hit, 1 walk. Pretty much went out there and mowed tonight, Coach.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know as a coaching staff, you got that 4th game penciled in a week, and you're starting to, man, we got enough arms to take care of that. Well, I'll tell you what, Devin Guzman comes in, goes 5 2/3, as you pointed out, mows down the Seminole hitters. I believe he only gave up 1 hit over that 5 2/3. So, I mean, that is best case scenario for the Falcons coaching staff.
Yeah, without a doubt. So congrats to Devin Guzman. Great performance and a great job by the St. Stephen's Falcons coaching staff and team. A very well coached team. Good little baseball club over there. We wish them the best of luck in their future and the rest of the way for them. I'm glad we don't have to run up against them anywhere in the playoffs, huh, Coach?
Yeah, right. I also just want to take one last opportunity to say thank you to Miss Clark and her whole team, her whole crew that puts on this big production, makes you and I sound and look good.
I don't know about the look part, Coach, but
Yeah, just a great crew. You know, I mean, Miss Clark does a lot for us. You know, she got me a piece of pizza so my stomach stopped growling through the broadcast. So just a wonderful group of kids, wonderful teacher. Just so happy to be a part of this and watch some baseball with a buddy of mine and make some comments.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah, and we definitely didn't want you to be hangry, so I'm very thankful that she had an extra slice for my buddy. But it was a beautiful night for baseball. Unfortunately, the Noles ended up on the wrong side of that. It is always great working alongside you, and I do also want to second those comments that you just made. Ms. Clark is an absolute rock star, and her staff is the best. And as always, we can't wait to work another one. And it's looking like we are going to work. The next broadcast will be senior night,
April 25th.
April 25th, next Wednesday. So we hope all of you tune in. We hope to see you again on our next broadcast, which will be next week on that senior night. We thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you soon. And as always,
Go
Noles.
Noles.